agreed and signed. The Barotseland Agreement of 1964 is back as a critical and topical issue in Zambia, with activists demanding it be honored with regards to equitable share of the national cake, and if not, they demand that they go their way and reclaim their area and the kingdom. The current debate has been heightened by remarks by the President of Zambia, Hakainde Hichilema, who today says Barotseland does not exist and that demands by some activists were all in vain because Zambia is a unitary state. Arthur Davis Sukopo now reports on the matter.
Before Zambia became independent, it existed as Northern Rhodesia, a British protectorate, and on the western side was Barotseland Kingdom, also a British protectorate. But years later, and during the fight for independence up to 1964, it was agreed that the two, Barotseland and Northern Rhodesia, become one. And to that effect, then Northern Rhodesia Prime Minister Kenneth David Kaunda, the Letunga, or King of Barotseland, Mwanawina Liwanika III, and others travelled to England, and acting together with the Queen through her representative, a treaty known as the Barotseland Agreement 1964 was signed. The Barotseland Agreement speaks to equitable resource allocation and use, and other binding entitlements like managing land, forest, water, administration of justice through the Barotse Native Courts, with the Barotseland Agreement of 1964 being effected. Kenneth David Kaunda became Zambia's first president on October 24, 1964, and Barotseland was merely reduced to one of the then 9 provinces of Zambia. After Kenneth Kaunda, 5 other presidents have come and left office, and the matter would come up and at some point saw some being killed, and the lucky ones only got injured by the Zambia Defense Forces and the Zambia Police, and others served longer jail sentences in their demand for the Barotseland Agreement of 1964 to be honored. President Hakainde Hichilema is on record at different forums, whilst in opposition supporting the existence of Barotseland Kingdom and the Barotseland Agreement of 1964. For instance, in 2021, few months before he was elected president, Hichilema, in an interview with a state broadcaster in Silozi, the major language of Barotseland, or today's Western Province, affirmed strongly that Barotseland Agreement existed and needed to be respected, and when voted into office, he would honor it through equitable development.
Barotseland Agreement is a very important agreement. It's what helped to create Zambia.
In 2022, at State House, after becoming president of Zambia, Hichilema affirmed that his government was dealing with the Barotseland Agreement in a different way, as opposed to killing or arresting those that are in support of it or the Barotseland activists.
When the Barotse activists talked, the next was arrests and guns. We have a different style. We don't want tear gas. We don't want guns in those Barotse planes as it used to be. I'm sure you remember. Some of those activists were gunned down. They're dead. Some of them were put in prison. I was in Mukobeko prison with one of the Barotse activists.
Shockingly, January 2024, Hichilema U-turns and tells a senior-most civil servant of Western Province to tell everyone in that province that there is no Barotseland.
You don't have a country called Western Province. Barotseland, there's nothing like that. It's a unitary state. I'm serious.
These sentiments have angered many, like the Barotseland National Youth Alliance, who speak through Policy Muziba Muziba.
Bohakaine should know that the Barotseland Agreement 1964 preceded any law in Zambia. We conclude by advising Mr. Hichilema and Zambians that the existence of Barotseland Kingdom as an independent territory does not depend on the permission of the Zambian government or Zambians.
Munyinda Munokoyumbwa also warns the president of Zambia, Hakainde Hichilema, during an address.
We wish to warn the New Dawn government as Barotseland youths will not take any kind of silly statements from the president of Zambia, who indicated that the Barotseland is not in existence. We want to tell him that Barotseland is existing and shall never die.
Meanwhile, as the debate rages, some tribes that are part of today's Western Province, then Barotseland, like the Mbundas and the Nkoyas, are speaking against demands for the honoring of the Barotseland Agreement, or indeed breaking away from Zambia. The Nkoyas, through Muibana Menda of Kazanga Cultural Association, and David Mfunjo, representing Koyaro Council, distanced themselves from the remarks by the Barosi youths and others and stand in solidarity with President of Zambia, Hakainde Hichilema. And when contacted for a comment, the Litunga or the King of Barotseland, through the Prime Minister, or the Ngambela, Mukerama Nyando, representing the Kuta, the highest decision-making organ of the Barotseland royal establishment, confirmed the current meeting discussing the matter and the decision will be made known soon.
Because we are processing the matter now as Kuta.
For now, the Barotseland activists and others are hoping that a positive decision will be made by the BRE. Reporting for Channel Africa in Lusaka, Zambia, I'm Arthur Davis, Scopo.
Parlez-vous couramment le français? Êtes-vous